today every service has a competitor that's a click away.
Right.
I learned that in the car industry years ago, where you can buy a car in Manhattan and get a response for someone quicker in Nebraska.
Sure.
So what's my angle here?
Right.
And this person said, well, maybe your purpose is what you're doing. You're in homes every day to share your story. And it's amazing how many houses that I've been to that just a brief 30-second conversation. It could be a friendship that I've gotten with customers.
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. I've got a very special guest here with me, Mark Reidy with the KS Rug Shop. Mark, thanks so much for joining me today, man.
Hey, it's Saturday. Yeah, why not?
What else you got to do, right? You're watching football and hanging out today, huh?
You could have called me yesterday, but yeah, I'll take Saturday.
I mean, hey. All right, well, Mark, let's talk a little bit. So what inspired you to start KS Rug Shop and get into the area rug cleaning, and what brought you to that?
Question of the century. Actually, it was brought to me by Jason Meisenberg over at Carpet Cleanse, who everyone probably knows me from there. I'm still with Carpet Cleanse, but in the beginning, Jason wanted me to join his team, and I told him, as a joke, I was like, you couldn't afford me,
Yeah.
and here I am still. But part of the thing was for him to pay me and for him to bring me aboard was to start this brand, and back then it was KC Rug Shop.
Yeah.
And now it's KS Rug Shop. But KC was, we were going to focus more eastern part of Kansas, Topeka, Lawrence, Kansas City, and not dive into the Manhattan market, because that was Carpet Cleanse.
Sure.
So if that makes sense. So yeah. So and we decided to do that because no one in this area was really focusing on those rugs. I mean, synthetic rugs, which we'll get into later, but
sure.
Your more natural fibers. I don't know if scared or if no one really wanted to challenge it. So we decided to do that then, and that's been probably 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
8 years in the business then, or doing rugs then.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I've known you for a minute now,
Mm-hmm.
right? I know that you've been with KS Rug Shop, KC Rug Shop, and you've kind of been in that business a little bit. You're not from here.
No.
What brought you to Manhattan, and where you're from, and what your history is?
Okay, so first military brought me here.
Yeah.
Wasn't my intention to come to Kansas. In fact, I joke around when my recruiter said, you're going to Fort Riley, Kansas, and I'm from New York.
Yeah.
And originally Manhattan. Go ahead, say it. I went from the Big Apple to the Little Apple. So I hear it all the time. But anyways, when my recruiter told me I was coming to Fort Riley, Kansas, I was just like, where is that?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I knew of was like tornadoes in The Wizard of Oz.
Sure.
Right? Little did I know there was more to this area too. And hence that's why I'm still here. But growing up in New York, man, I was in, let me see, I was adopted at 8 years old. My brother and I was in foster care for 4 years, bounced around from four different foster homes. In this story, I mean, it's a whole nother segment, right?
Sure.
But briefly, my parents adopted myself, my brother, altogether 13 of us.
Wow.
So there's every single one of us are adopted from different families. It's, I'm trying to think, I'm the second oldest. It was challenging.
Yeah.
One of my brothers from New York has moved out here now. But yeah, it's there's times I don't even talk about the first 8 years, because I mean the things that I saw, most grown men haven't seen, or I shouldn't say men, but most adults haven't seen. It was pretty scary. I mean, and I always say everyone has a story. You have a story, I have a story, and my story is what got me to where I am today.
Sure.
I mean, it really took me probably till I was 30 to really figure life out, even after military.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. But yeah. Anyways, that's all said and done. I'm here. Somebody had once told me, and you know this person, I'm not going to say it, had said, I walked up to him and I said, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Like, why would God take me out of Harlem, New York? Is originally, I tell people Manhattan, but Harlem, New York. Why would I be given a second chance? What's my angle here?
Right.
And this person said, well, maybe your purpose is what you're doing. You're in homes every day to share your story. And it's amazing how many houses that I've been to that just a brief 30-second conversation, it sparks, just, it could be a friendship that I've gotten with customers. Customers have said, my kids are going through something, so yeah, it's, I don't love my past.
Sure.
But I love what it's taught me and what I can bring forward to somebody else that's going through something as well too. So anyways, yeah, I can go on and on and on, but yeah, that's
well, I think that's important though too, right? Like our past doesn't make us, our let me rephrase that. Our past is our past, but it creates who we are today, and we learn from that, right? And I think you have to be able to learn from your past. But look at what you've done, right? Like you went through, like what you said, a dark time to create a business and a good life for yourself in the Little Apple. But that's the thing, right? Like I think that's a big play into this. And our past is who we are. It's who's made us to what we are today. It's not who we are today, though.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing that people have to understand. It's like, yes, we went through that. Yes, we did that. Yes, that was us. But that was us. And I think that's the key thing there is that isn't us now. Hopefully isn't, if you have you know what I mean? But you learn from that. And I think that's a big piece to that. And I think that's why it's important to know who you were and know who you are.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, I love that.
I love everything that is today.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I look at my kids today. I 12-year-old, 28-year-old, and a 29-year-old, and raising my two older kids by myself when I was younger. It taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, I don't wish single parenthood on anybody.
Sure.
It's never designed that way. But when I look at my kids now, it's like, man, they helped me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
They helped me become the person I am. And then my wife now, who's an educator. It's funny because as her being an educator and me missing out on so much education when I was younger, it's hilarious, these conversations. I'm like, don't even ask me how to spell something sometimes. I'm like, Google it, ask Siri or
she
whatever.
Probably rolls her eyes the whole time.
Oh my goodness. Well, and then, you look at, ask Jason Meisenberg, him and I, we joke around, but I think we're together 8 hours a day. He's like my work spouse, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, dude, how does that, like, is your hamster wheel like, how's that going? And I'm like, you just spend like an hour with me and you'll learn a lot. Seriously. I'm not saying I'll make you smarter.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, the experience would be one heck of a ride.
No, I love it. With your guys' learning and your influence of quality of services that you provide, how do you continue to stay up on that with, and I say you guys, I mean you, but like how do you stay up with the commitment to learning your influence in your trade?
Oh my gosh. A lot of it was in the beginning hands-on. We everything's at your fingertips now with the internet.
Sure.
We're doing classes online. We're teaching, trial and error, and knock on wood, we haven't damaged any rugs.
Yeah.
And we do get rugs that clients will drop off and then never pick up. They don't pay for them, so that's a great way for us to just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that's how we learn is hands-on. So, that's, to me, that's how we stay ahead. It's just always trying things.
Yeah.
See what works, because, I mean, there's not much that, it's pretty simple if you think about it. I mean, it's, they're dirty, coffee spills, wine spills, pet accidents.
Yep.
So it's not like, something extremes coming in that we've never seen.
Right.
So.
Trial by error.
Yes.
Fair enough. I like it. So, Mark, you went through here recently, you were just talked 2 years. So, 2 years you kind of went through a whole rebranding from KC Rug Shop to KS Rug Shop. Explain to us a little bit about what that looked like and what that is now.
What it looked like, holy cow. I didn't go to school for marketing. I didn't go to school for, my school was military.
Sure.
I did military and then played ball for a little bit in college and, at 25 years old and, raised 2 kids, so none of this has, something I want as a kid, I want to clean rugs. But like I said, when Carpet Cleanse approached me at KC, Jason decided, hey, it's been long enough. You've been with me for a long period of time. And, for me to keep you, let me sell you the rug shop. And when he did that, the best thing was to rebrand it.
Sure.
And I decided KS. KC just seemed too big. You're thinking Kansas City, where KS is, sure, the state of Kansas, but it doesn't feel like you're just focused on the metro area.
Yeah.
So now so when I did it going on 2 years, we decided to do KS Rug Shop, and it's helped. It's been a huge difference. Challenging, to say the least, but I mean, why do you do it?
Yeah.
Right? It's fun.
Yeah. Oh, and it's growth, man. I mean, it's part of it.
Oh, yeah.
We have our ups and downs, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much truth about that.
Awesome. So, with KS Rug Shop, you specialize kind of you offer specialized cleanings for both natural and synthetic rugs. Can you explain what the differences are and what that actually looks like with your business?
Okay, so we'll just dive into the simple one, the synthetics, which majority of customers have. It's the things you can buy at Target, Best Buy.
Yeah.
They're a poly blend, like a polyurethane, anyways, poly is what we tell people. It's a synthetic, synthetic being fake. It's similar to your carpets at home, where you can put hot water to it, and people buy those because, they don't feel as if it's damaged, they don't feel like they're out of a lot.
Sure.
Sure. Where a natural fiber, I mean, it's exactly what it says, your wools, your silks, rugs that come from all over the world that we see, rugs that are made from dyed yarns, that if a pet does have an accident or if there is a drink spill, those colors can bleed. They can transfer into each other.
Might be a pet that's gone.
You know what? Yeah, seriously. But then again, my question sometimes is, those kind of rugs, I'm not putting it down for a dog to just do whatever it wants.
Yeah.
But we do see it. I don't question it because, without it, I don't have a job.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a business. So.
Right. Well, and that actually segues into my next one. So obviously pets and odors and things that are coming there as part of your services with cleaning area rugs and everything that way. I mean, heck, you did it for myself and my family, where we had an old dog and he came through and had accidents and everything else. But what kind of challenges has the pets, both in synthetic and natural, what kind of challenges have you run into with those? Synthetic
rugs, again, there's so much that you can do that you can't do with the natural fiber. Like for yours, I mean, you can, as long as, it's rare that a synthetic rug has colors that will transfer, but yours, you can absolutely just flush it out and not even worry. Where a synthetic rug, you have to, we call it dye lock. It's a treatment that we put down and make sure that the colors don't transfer. And that is the biggest one, because how do you get urine out if you can't flush it, right? So we have to make sure that the colors don't bleed into each other, or we just bought a $5,000 rug. So yeah,
that's an expensive area.
It's that's a huge mistake, and not only that, I mean, say it's your rug, and regardless if I had to buy a new rug, I lost you as a consumer, as a customer.
Sure. And
then word of mouth.
Yep.
As they say, word of mouth goes a long ways, but when it's negative, it goes even further.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Every good experience they tell one person. Every bad experience they tell 10.
Yeah, and I'm sure that number is growing.
Yeah. Well, especially with social media now too.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. True. Yeah.
So with the KS Rug Shop, you guys actually provide free pickup and delivery of the area rugs. Tell us how has that kind of helped your business grow, and what does that look like for the customers?
I love getting into the homes to do this.
Yeah.
So first of all, I have a couple different ways. I'm still with Carpet Cleanse, and that gives me an opportunity to talk to the clients. Jason and I have an agreement on what rugs I get and what rugs he gets, but it's an opportunity for me to get to know them. And it maybe not right at the moment that they're ready for the rug to get cleaned or picked up, maybe down the road, and it also gets into rug pads.
Right.
We run into that often where it's a customer that has a rug, doesn't need clean, but they need a pad.
Right. And
we offer that. So to me, you look at it as like it's an opportunity for an upsell.
Sure. Well, let's talk about the rug pads, right? I mean, that maintains the quality, the rug quality and things. So what types of pads do you offer at the KS Rug Shop, and how do they benefit your clients and their rugs? Right
now, we are strictly offering one style, and it's a higher end, but diving into the rug pad, the pad that we offer is one of a kind. It's doesn't have off gassing. It's latex free. It's made here in America, and everybody knows how important that is right now in this day and age. Is keep everything as stateside as possible. It protects your floor, and I tell customers it's more an investment for the floor than the rug. These rugs that we sell are supposed to outlive your rug.
Yeah.
They're washable.
The pads.
Or the pads, sorry, thank you. The pads are washable, so if they were to spill drinks, pet accidents, take it outside, hose it off, let it dry, bring it back in. In fact, I'm doing a rug right now where it's a client that has bought a pad, and we've cleaned the rug in the past, and they were actually, I don't know why they were cheering for the Chiefs, but they spilt wine. I guess that makes sense. They spilt wine. They were probably mad at the TV, but they spilt red wine on the Chinese wool rug, and they had one of our pads underneath, and the pad did its job, and it protected the floor.
Wow.
Right now we're working on it. The pad is completely clean now. It absorbed everything. It saved the rug, the back end of the rug, because that can deteriorate.
Yeah.
We've seen it all the time where somebody spills something, you don't know about it. Maybe it was a kid, and then 3 weeks later, you have a science project growing on the back of your rug. So, these rugs, they're easy to get a hold of. Just on our website, there's a link that they can order directly. But yeah, it's they're great to have.
Those pads.
Yeah. Or the pads, yeah. The rugs.
The pads, yeah. So having those pads, I mean, that was one of the things that you always told me whenever you've come to clean our carpets and everything in rugs, and you've always said like having that pad on the back is going to protect the LVP and protect the veneer on the wood finishes and everything that way. And so I think that's a big plus for what that pad can offer for. One, like you just said, saving the quality of the actual rug, or saving the life of the rug, and then two, saving the floor underneath it.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the biggest.
We've seen where we've pulled up a rug, and I mean everyone sees that discoloration.
Right.
And again, it's a myth. Most folks think it's sun fade, which is not. It's there's a chemical imbalance with the back end of the rug and the floor. And again, a lot of folks today will buy these rugs that are $200-$300, even maybe $99, and they're thinking they're saving money, and in the future, or in the long run, they're not, because we've seen where it's about $15,000 to fix the floor.
Wow.
And you, as a realtor, you probably go in and see it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere where the rug sat.
Yeah. I've always thought it was sun fade.
Yeah,
I
and
really
it's
did.
not, and most homeowners don't see it in pictures until they move in on closing, and they're like, I didn't see this before.
Yeah.
And it's because of the rug.
Interesting.
And not having the proper pad, because not all pads are the same. And there's pads out there that will do the same thing too.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just because the back of the pad or the back of the rug will have their I hate saying the word cheap, but it is what it is. It's made with PVC.
Oh.
It can scratch your floor up, and it can discolor it. And most people, I've got LVT. It's not good for LVT either. So you have that, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, I know where you can get a pad.
I don't have a dog anymore. I was going to take care of the cheap rug we have. Mark, with a lot of your customer reviews, the highlights and everything that way, they all talk about prompt and reliable service, and that's been a big one. So for KS Rug Shop, how do you consider, or how do you ensure the consistency of your customer satisfaction with everything that you are doing, with everything you have going on?
That one, I base it off of experience. I've been in this industry, when I say industry, customer service industry, for 35 years, 30 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's too often where, and I'm not talking just me, but you can go somewhere and you get bad service.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think we forget that the customer writes the paycheck.
Yeah.
And without the customer, I don't have the opportunity, to clean rugs. I'm a customer at the end of the day,
Sure.
So what I do is, listen, keep them happy, and keeping them happy is hey, provide a good service, but do it with a smile as well too. I mean, it's too often where I can go somewhere, and if it's a grocery store or a restaurant, and you could tell someone's there to collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I don't do this for the money. That's never been my motivation. Because once you get the money, what do you have after that?
Sure.
So to me, I enjoy putting a smile on people's faces. To me, it's like cooking, right?
Yeah.
It's when I cook for my family or for friends, it's because I know I'm gonna put a smile on the face. I guess I'm saying I'm pretty good at cooking.
Fair enough.
But no, seriously, I mean, it's, jokes aside, it's customers are the ones that write our paychecks.
Yeah.
So
being customer service based, I mean, that's going to be
always
that facing that way. So no, I would agree.
Always.
I mean, you've done that for myself and
Yeah.
have for years at this point in time, and I think that's been, it shows, I guess. Is what
and to get more into, like, when you say prompt, today every service has a competitor that's a click away.
Right.
I learned that in the car industry years ago, where you can buy a car in Manhattan and get a response for someone quicker in Nebraska.
True.
So it's how bad do you want it? How bad do you want that customer? And then I look at it as you get that customer, and then boom, then possibly you can get their neighbor, their grandkids.
Yeah.
So I guess if I'm cleaning for their grandkids, holy cow. That's
Been doing it a minute then. Huh?
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, so walk us through the whole process, right? From contact to completion. What does that look like for anybody who's watching this on that?
So contact, the customer gets a hold of me via email, text, phone call. One of the things I want to do is, it's really hard, that saying, sell on your feet, not on your seat.
Yeah.
So I always want to, visit the home like we were discussing earlier, get
Sure.
into the home and have that conversation with them, because I don't want to make it sound too scientific. Keep it simple. KISS, right? Keep it short and simple. So I'll go to the customer and I'll explain the process, which is, once we pick it up, we'll ID it, meaning I'm going to test the rugs, make sure there's no color transfer, and that's if it's a natural fiber. Then I dust it. And dusting, there's a couple ways of doing it, I can turn the rug over depending on the pile, meaning if it's a short pile, long like a shag rug.
Yeah.
I want to get all that dust and dirt out. And, there's times these shag rugs, we're getting wood chips and toys that you didn't see, but you want to get everything out before you clean it because it's basically like cleaning mud.
Yeah.
So we dust it. Either we do it flat side, hang it up, beat it like they used to do.
Yeah.
Years ago, depending on the rug. And once that's done, I treat it, depending if it's just a general clean, a pet treat, clean it, shampoo it. We scrub it, have a machine, that I scrub front and back, shampoo it, hose it off with fresh, cold water, and then we suck the water out. And then we hang dry it or we flat dry it, lay dry it. And then we test it. If it needs another shampoo, I do it again, and then we deliver it. We try to get it within 7 to 10 days. There's times where some folks are just on a time crunch. They need it, 3 days, and sometimes we can't do that. But most cases, 7 to 10 days, sometimes longer, depending on the severity of a rug. If it's a rug that, there is color transfer and a lot of pet urine, which we run into. I mean, you're talking a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and folks do understand what it takes to get it right. So, and that's where when I get the smiles from them, that makes me enjoy it. And you're a golfer, right? There's times like when you're golfing. I'm not saying this is a bad analogy, but when you golf, I've heard this from before, but I don't golf. It's those shots that keep you coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's those shots. It's the customer smiles that are like, yeah,
this is why I do this.
This is why I do it. Yeah. So, that's why I don't want to get too big.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I like keeping it small. I don't get too big because I don't want to take the personal touch out of it.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Well, that's perfect. So anybody watching this, how do they get a hold of you? Phone number, email, website, whatever that is, how do they get a hold of you?
So they can page me, get a hold of me on MySpace. No, I'm just joking. No, Google, what most people do is, they'll go on the internet, social media on Facebook, ksrugshop.com, ksrugpads.com, 785-292-9573. I was going to get a chalkboard and write that. That would have been awesome. No, it's so easy to get a hold of me. It's not hard, and most people like text messages now. I'm not a fan of it. To me, it takes the personal touch out of it. You can't hear a smile through a text.
Yeah.
That's what I say. So, but I think when it comes to rugs, phone calls are the best. Because then you can have that discussion, you can set the appointment, like I said, so you can walk the steps with them rather than text message.
Yeah.
So, and I know some some are shopping for prices, which it's that is part of the business. So
it's part of any sales business.
Yeah,
I think.
seriously, yeah.
So you touched on it a little bit here, but I wanna bring it up. The future of KS Rug Shop. I know you just said you don't want to get too terribly big, but at the same point in time, I imagine you want to stay consistent. So what does the future of KS Rug Shop look like?
Younger. It looks younger. When I say that, I have a 12-year-old daughter who right now she does some of my marketing for me.
Okay. Nice.
I just had this conversation with my son. He owns his own cleaning business, and I said at some point I want to start teaching my son, my daughter. My brother moved in from New York as well, to start getting everybody to where it becomes a true family business, right? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when growth is good, 10% every year, if I grow 10% every year, I'm happy with. Again, I don't want to lose that personal touch. I don't do this for, it's not my lifestyle.
Right.
I have my lifestyle, right? You know, so
you're growing a family business. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you're looking to do. Give something to him, a
And
legacy.
And family's more is more important to me than spending hours in the shop.
Sure.
After hours cleaning rugs.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to take away. And you know, I'm 50. Okay, 50 years old, right? No, so I have nothing to prove. Is what I tell people. So I don't need to, you know, sell my family for a buck.
Yeah.
I've always said that. So, you know, I keep it small. That's why you don't see like me all over the place. You know, I just had a customer yesterday at Carpet Cleanse, and she had said, "I haven't seen you in a while," and I was like, I tried to stay low key.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I see it. So I'm not turning business away, but
keeping steady and a steady growth.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's a good way to be. Just to continue to make sure you have something coming down the pipe. So
absolutely, yeah.
I love that. So before we wrap up here, a question I always love to ask. We get a lot of people that watch this. Maybe they're looking at rugs, maybe they're looking at all that stuff, but a lot of them are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
What word of advice or what advice would you give to any current entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs, or anybody else looking at something like this?
I'm going to tell them the same thing someone told me. Do it.
Yeah.
Just take the leap. Do it. You know, I'm glad you said that or asked that question, because when it was time for me to decide this, I had this conversation with my folks.
Yeah.
And granted, my folks, you know, are a different generation.
Sure.
And it was a generation of safe, comfortable, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when I talked to a buddy of mine he did the same thing, I was like, absolutely, that makes sense. And fear not.
Yeah.
You know, if you look on my website, ksrugshop.com, it says 2 Timothy 1:7, for God didn't give us a spirit of fear.
Yeah.
Go with that. So that's what I'm saying. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. You're going to be scared, and that's normal. You're going to be scared.
Should be. It's different.
It's
different.
Yeah, do it.
I love it. Okay, before we kind of wrap it all up, anything else you want to add to the video or to anybody? Anything else out there?
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Again, Mark, thank you so much for joining me today.
Not a problem.
I know it's a Saturday. I took you away from college football today, but I do appreciate it.
No, you're good.
And it's been fun sitting here with you, man. And I do appreciate you coming in and joining me today.
Oh, not a problem, man. That was fun.
Yeah,
was fun.
We're good. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will tell you from personal experience, Mark does a fantastic job. Again, he just took one of the rugs out of our house, and we had an old dog, and he had accidents and all kinds of stuff on there, and my wife literally told me when we got the rug back, she said, you need to call Mark and tell him how good of a job he did, because this is fantastic. She loved it. And so I will tell you from personal experience, Mark does a fantastic job. He will take good care of your rug. He will take good care of your house whenever you're putting the rugs back in. Whatever it looks like, I promise you will not be disappointed with Mark and what he's able to do to help you bring your area rug back to life, because it really will help that space. Our house smelled so much better with the new clean rug in there too. It's fantastic. So, but please reach out to him, get a hold of him, and see what it is on that side of it. So if you do enjoy this content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content. And please, if you know somebody who is interested in having an area rug cleaned, or just interested in general in something along these lines, share this video with them. Let them get to know Mark. Let him get to understand what he's about and where that customer service really shines for him, and what that actually looks like. So until next time, though, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills. We'll talk to you next week.
Salute, man.